Loot and artifacts, 2 sets of things you're going to need if you plan to beat the boss of Valguero. So here's a walkthrough guide on every artifact cave with the best loot sources available to you. As you can see on the map, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations for you to get all of your artifacts. And you want to start with the artifact of the crag found at the Volcano Lava Cave at 34.4, 51.4. And there's a big reason why you want to choose this one first, because this is possibly your best first choice for loot. This place is insane for loot starting off in ARK. So all you got to do is head through this cave entrance here. It's really straightforward. You don't need too much. Grapples are most certainly a necessity. A Thylat wouldn't go amiss, and definitely some way to combat fortitude, maybe some ghillie if you really want it. Bug repellent wouldn't go amiss as well, seeing you're going to run through a few Aranios and Arthros and all that jazz. Not a great thing to run into without your armor being spat off. But all you got to do is follow this all the way down here and work your way around until you see this opening on the left, and hey presto, on the opposite side of this triple jump is your artifact. You can see just there over in the distance. But loot is of course the game, and there's 3 drops in this room to get. There's one, as you can see down there to the bottom right, there's your blue drop, rewarding you some decent loot. It's not always the best because it's a blue drop, of course, but never discount a blue drop. A blue drop can be a bit of a winner. And then if you follow the wall round, you'll see a yellow drop over this side, rewarding you some great loot here, and we'll get to what exactly good loot it is in a minute. And then you'll notice up on a ledge on the left, which can be a bit precarious, and that's why grapples are possibly a good choice, is a red loot crate, and it's certainly a great red loot crate at that. And what's great about these drops in this cave, that they normally respawn twice, so simply get them all, back off, come back, and you got these drops, these 3 drops once again. Simply head over to your last platform, and hey presto, there's the crag preparing you for Alpha Grendel. And you'll be running this cave a lot, trust me, because you can get some phenomenally good loot in this one. You can see a bunch of chitin, cloth, compound bows, electric prods, fabricated pistols, snipers, flak BPs, fur, ghillie, harpoons, hide, plenty of long necks, pikes, shields, and then pre-made versions of all of these. You can get the odd shotgun or 2. There's one there, a max shotty at that, but they're a little bit rarer in here, but they're definitely possible to attain. And then over in this vault here gives you an idea of what saddles you're gonna get. So we're looking at some pretty decent aloe, basilo, frog saddles, bronto, dodes, mammoths, helicoprions, megatheriums, Scyphactinus, and the list goes on. There's a few stegos and thyla saddles too. These in particular are saddles you definitely want to be going for later on in this video. So next artifact will take us over to the snow at 15.6, 27.4, where you'll find 2 artifacts to obtain. Now this one can be a bit precarious because, as per other snow caves and other maps, there are palovias, there are bears, there are things to be certainly mindful of. A big steed wouldn't go amiss. Some high fortitude stuff to keep you warm wouldn't go amiss either. Some good decent weaponry to keep things at bay is what you're going to need. A good steed, high steed, big steed is definitely one you want to keep on top of, because there they are, dirty palovias, all ready to pounce and rip you off, stun you, and let those big mighty dire bears to kill you very quickly. But if you head down, follow this ramp down, all the way down, watch this little jump here, and keep going down, just at this corner here, you'll notice a little tunnel to your left. Follow that through, and as you head further down here, down this ledge here where you'll need grapples to get back up, you'll find a set of jumps here with death destroying spikes right below you if you miss a jump. Gonna be a fun escapade for anyone there. But once hopped, skipped and jumped all the way across, artifact of the destroyer, ready to nab and take home. A straightforward affair, but if you want the cunning, you've got a few more minions to face off, because further down the ramp, turning left out of this hole and continuing down, are yet even more palovias, more dirty big bears, more wolves, more ass to bite your face off. But just simply try and traverse past them and go through this tunnel here to make your way down and face even more bears, more yetis, through to another room through here with even more bears, but right at the end, the very lovely awaiting cunning. This is definitely a brutal cave to get through. A decent steed is what you'll want to get through this with ease. Always fun to do it on foot though, right? With a few people, if you want a good laugh, have a crack on foot. For the last of the 3 Scorched Earth artifacts, you need to head to 48.159 in the sunken Aberration underground. But it's worth noting you're certainly going to need some hazard gear and a steed to ride on, because heading through the red zone entrance at 37.165, which whilst isn't the most straightforward entrance, is perhaps the most clearest of the 2 to venture through to. You've simply just got to go and head all the way down this ramp, where anywhere around here you're going to start taking radiation damage, and simply go to the end of this ledge, where right at the very end, noting now there's rock drakes and reapers to be mindful of on this version of Valguero. If you see that big giant circular glowy thing just down below it, in front of it is your last Scorched Earth artifact right there for the taking. Nice and easy to nab. Well, it looks like it's easy until the Reaper pops at the ground and rips your face off, but you know what I mean. Compared to some artifacts, this one's really a doddle if you've got the hazard gear ready to go. The Skylord is a pretty straightforward artifact to nab at 78.4, 90.4. And this one's a brand new cave to this version of Valguero, but a pretty simple one to navigate as long as you have got the gear ready. Maybe a Thyla to get you so far, but you're going to need a steed to go underwater on. Maybe a Barry wouldn't be a bad choice at that. Some scuba if you need to move pretty quickly. And you're simply going to follow this ramp around here, avoiding these scorpions, snakes and spiders. You can go down this ramp here on the left, or you can simply just hop off down this end here. And you haven't got to worry about anything really beyond this section here. You're simply going straight for the water below you. Go and take a little dunk. And get yourself looking for a little shimmer, a little glow of crystals like those ahead of us, of which we're going to head towards, that lead us to a tunnel. Watching piranhas, of course, that could nip away at your toes. Follow that through to the end. Pop out the end, and hey presto, there's your artifact awaiting Skylord. Job done. Surrounded by a few Arthros and Scorpions. But again, pretty easy to get. So, Brute and Devera, found at 46.8, 87.4, requires you to enter a temple entrance. Can be a little difficult to find with a lot of trees normally blocking the route, but we've mowed these down so you can see for yourself. And looking at the entrance, you'll need to make sure to hit this button here on the left to gain access. Once pressed, will reveal a door opening your way through to the 2 artifacts, which can be a bit of an issue to navigate through, but follow this guide and it's a really straightforward run through. You will definitely need some preparation for this. There's a lot of nasties to deal with. You're going to need stuff to fight things in the water. You're going to need stuff to fight things on land. You may want a steed for this one. You may want some good weaponry. It's a good adventure with a bunch of people, this one. You'll definitely enjoy this one, with your first challenge being a jump, which isn't a jump. It's a ruse. There's no jump at all. It's a drop all the way down to here. So get your parachutes at the ready. You're going to fall all the way down to this water section down right here. And land in a world of bats, Arthros. So once you've hit this water, looking at this obelisk piece right here, look to the left. You're going to go through this corridor down here to get your very first artifact, which isn't too bad. There's not normally too many ads down here to run it into. You're going to get to this area here where it seems you've got a left route or a right route, but there's not actually anything to the left. You're going to go right and go through this corridor here. When you get to this split here with a right and a left route, you're going to go left and pass through this section here, go all the way to the end, and you'll face a brand new room full of bats and more ads, and you'll see some ruins. Now currently this artifact is unfortunately bugged. It should be right here, and you can even hear it if you press your ears to the screens, but currently right now it's under the mesh. No idea why, no idea how. The brute artifact is here, right underneath at the moment. It's currently a bugged artifact. I imagine this thing will get patched at some point to appear where it should be, which is here in these ruins, but that is going to be your problem at the moment. No brute artifact for no one until that gets patched, but that's where to expect it when it does get patched. So be mindful of that. So now that's over and said and done. We're going to go back the way we came. So we're back here once again looking at this obelisk piece of structure. Once again, that's where you fell from at the start. And you're going to simply follow it through here. On the opposite side, go down this alleyway down here. And you're looking for a very precarious looking rock. This rock here, which you can break, or if you're small, can jump straight through and push you through to this new tunnel section here. You're going to run all the way through to the end, keeping your eyes peeled for any ads, but not normally should you find many here, but there will be quite a few in the next room that you pop out of. Here, plenty of bats, plenty of ass, all here, there and everywhere. Some water that's full of ass as well. There is a drop here if you want to get that, but be mindful, there are eels and sleepy stuff, things to put you to sleep just there. Be mindful of those. Just to remind you once again, that's where you came from, this section here. Let's just rewind. This is where you came from. You're going to simply follow this path all the way around and just follow it all the way around to this tunnel here, which is going to require you to get some scuba because it's quite a tight tunnel. And you're going to have a little dip, pop up here and bring you to a big giant room that looks quite expansive, is quite expansive, and weirdly doesn't keep the artifact where it used to be. I'm sure the artifact used to be in a different place, but it's moved. I'm not sure. Either way, you're probably going to want to bring some grapples for this one. So this is the ledge you've just ventured towards. You may want to move your way over to this ledge over here, seeing a yellow cave drop there. But the easy way to navigate your way through to is work your way round to the middle and simply look up. Look at these yellowy, glowy things in the sky. What are these? I don't know, glowy big fat crystals, because they're all surrounding the Devourer. It sits right here, overlooking that big giant room where the artifact could have been anywhere in here. On this tiny ledge, hidden well above it, is the artifact. Makes sense, right? And you might be wondering, oh, have I got to go all the way back to get back home? No, you don't. There's actually a new way back home now. So if you find your way to this cave here and find this pool of water, seeing that you've brought some scuba anyway, you can go down here and find yourself on a little adventure, because if you pass all through this water here, being mindful of all of the ads, eels and nastiness, pop all the way up to the top, pop up here into a brand new dark room, pass through to the end of this and all the way to yet another water source, pass through that, dip up again, a route which I believe you can come this way. Apparently you will enter into a route that lands you straight back to where you started, with a button just here on the right. There's the button there, which will open up this door here, letting you pass through back into the main room of where you very first started. You simply got to go back up these staircases and you're home free. Farewell, Temple of Doom. Which leaves you with this one, the artifacts of the Pack, Strong and Immune. 3 artifacts in one cave, which can be really, really confusing to navigate if you don't know how. Found at 74.4, 42.6, guarding the entrance, and a little nod to Lord of the Rings, is a brew bomber sitting here. A mini boss that will always be here and will respawn once killed, granting you some of the best loot in the game. Though, there's some RNG chance on what level this spawns at, up to 150, and can have any manner of points in health, can be a bit of a monster to kill. And we'll get through what loot you exactly get from this after we've done this cave. But as you can see from the health that we're showing here, this thing can be a monster. Thankfully, all you need is a Thyla and you can bleed it. Easy as that. Bleed a brood and you're going to get loot for days. I'll show you the loot straight after this cave run, but that is what you want to be working towards. Get yourself a Thyla, get yourself a good saddle, and you'll be farming mega loot in no time. But before we get to that, we've got a cave to run. We've got 3 artifacts to nab en route, which can be really, really confusing if you don't know where you're going. You're definitely going to need a few things for this cave. Gas masks is the one. You're going to need plenty of gas masks because there are plenty of poisonous areas when running through here. This place can suck if you're not prepared. A steed's definitely a handy thing. Weapons, grapples, without a doubt. There's a few pitfalls to fall into and be stuck in. This can be a very dangerous place to navigate. But the game rule of thumb is simply kind of hug the left. That's what we're going to do. Because if hugging the left, you'll notice in this first room here is a drop. There's a blue drop in here for you to nab. Just there. And that's all there is in this room. So get that. Move back. And keep hugging the left wall in this main room until you find a hole. Tiny hole to crouch through. This is the one you're going to head through. So pass through this one. There's going to be an alarming amount of mosquitoes and bugs. Of course, as you can see, spiders and snakes are plenty as well. A frog wouldn't go amiss if you want to get paste farming as well. But once again, simply follow, hug the left wall. That's all you're going to do until you reach here. This room here. Pass through, bend it round to the left until you get to this area here, which is a jump. And all you got to do is make sure you jump successfully over that. Follow this through into this room here, and you've bagged yourself your very first artifact of the Strong right there, right at the end. Easily done. So, now you've got that, head back the way you just came, back to this jump here, and you're going to head straight down. You're going to head straight down to this wonderful looking area here, full of death and destruction. With 2 routes to go. You either want to go that way or you want to go that way. You want to go this way because you'll see a little cave entrance here, which is going to grant you access to your next artifact, which brings you to another room of death and destruction. Spiders, snakes, and all that jazz. But sitting right at the very back of this room, once you've navigated past all the ass, is your next artifact, Immune, sitting there proudly, ready for you to nab and take home. From there, all we're going to do is go straight back the way we came once again. And we're going to go to the other side of this entrance, which just grants us access to the top section of that same room that we were just in. And you're going to follow this ledge here all the way round to the end. Be mindful that there is a yellow drop for you to nab on your way around. You can get there, right there. Nice little cheeky drop for you. And go through either that tunnel there or that tunnel there. Just round here. They both end up the same way. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. So we're going to go through the first one on our left, playing the game of rule of thumb. Hug the left as always and simply follow it all the way through to the end. En route, you may see a room here. You can venture into here. There's nothing in here for you to get apart from a drop and a load of ads to kill. Bit of a nightmare, really. Don't really get this room. Felt like maybe there should have been an artifact in here. It's a bit of a pain, but there is a drop for you to get if you really want it. But let's head back the way we just came. Which was here. That's where we just came from. That tunnel there. I'm going to hug the left once again and follow it all the way through to the ends. Keep following it, hugging the left as always. And eventually you come to this little crouch here. Pop through there. Out the other side. Through another little small tunnel. And at the end of this, we should find another tunnel. Another crouch to go through. And then a little section of water to dip it into. Dip down there. Swim all the way through. Noting scuba. That'd be worthwhile. All the way through to the end. And look up and you'll see a section of water to pop out of. And voila. The pack ready for you to take home as well. And getting home, not too bad now. Now you've done that little route of hugging the left. It's the same deal getting back. So simply just go straight back through the water once again. Pop back through the way you came. And once again, just keep your eyes peeled. Which will eventually take you back to the room that you started in. All the way down around here. Through this crouch here. And you're home free. Just up here. There we go. Easy as that. So, Brew Bobby. What does the Brew Bobby give you? Well, I'll tell you what it gives you. You can get all of these assault rifles, compound bows, electric prods, sniper rifles, flak BPs, all the flak BPs, all the shotgun BPs, riot BPs, riot shield BPs, lots of ammo, lots of guns, lots of C4, lots of pre-made flak, compound bow arrows, shields, pre-made shotguns, riot gear, and lots of rocket launchers, rockets and shotgun shells, as well as a lot of really top tier saddles, Bronto plats, Brontos, Karkas, a lot of Karkar BPs we found in this one, Ceratosauruses, Barry, Daedon, Dinotherium, a lot of Giga BPs, Helicoprion BPs, Gigantoraptor BPs, Moser plats, Plessy plats, Quetz plats, Rex Saddle BPs, Rhinonafa BPs, Spinos, Theres, Thylers, Tuzos, Sophaxtinus, and Utis, as well as a lot of pre-made versions of these. Though you will notice, missing from this list is the Mega Raptor Saddle. Didn't see this in any of the loot sources covered in this guide. I have no idea where those are. Don't know whether I'm just being very unlucky with RNG, but if it is RNG, holy hell, what are the odds of getting a Mega Raptor Saddle? I get the idea, get the impression, it just hasn't been patched in yet to these loot sources, and it may be in the future. So there you go, folks. Knock yourself out. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.